I'm writing this to finally let you know how I really feel. You probably haven't noticed, but I've always been there watching, waiting. For years, you've been the center of my world, even if I was just a shadow in the background of yours. Now I need you to hear me, to understand everything I've done. I hope that when you know the truth, you'll feel the same way I do. We belong together, forever. Do you remember when we were 13 and you transferred to my school? You walked in, and for a fleeting moment, your tranquil blue eyes met mine. Even then, I knew you were the most beautiful creature I'd ever seen. But the moment shattered when you were paired with someone else to show you around. You didn't notice me, not really. You had your group of friends, so bright, so different from me. I had no one, no friends, nothing. But I had you. Every day I watched you. I admired you. The way you carried yourself, so graceful, so perfect, captivated me. I lived for those stolen glimpses of your life, every flawless movement, a testament to the perfection I wanted to protect. But the others didn't see you like I did. They envied you, hated you for being better than them. I saw the way they pushed you into walls when no one was looking, the way they shoved you and laughed as if your pain meant nothing. The teachers never noticed. They didn't care. It burned me up inside, watching them torment you, hurting you just because they couldn't measure up. They got worse. They knocked over your drink, set your bag on fire in woodshop, and once, I saw them drag you to the ground outside the school gates. They kicked you until you cried. I clenched my fist so hard that my nails dug into my palms. I could barely contain myself. They followed you home after that, trailing you like predators, hurling abuse at your back, their laughter echoing in the twilight. They made you feel unsafe, vulnerable. It tore me apart. I knew I had to act, for you, to protect you, to save you. The ringleader was Bethany, a venomous creature consumed by her jealousy of you. She used to be the center of attention, but you stole her spotlight, and she couldn't bear it. Her friends? Just pawns in her game. She ruled through fear and manipulation, and when she lost her grip on her throne, she turned her wrath on you. Then there was Chris. Do you remember when he asked you to the school dance? You rejected him, and he ran off crying in front of everyone. That humiliation cost him his pride, his friends. He blamed you for everything, and his bitterness festered into cruelty. And Julie, oh Julie, she hated you because the boy she loved only had eyes for you. She humiliated herself for him, desperate for his attention. But it was always you he talked about, always you he wanted. They wanted to hurt you, to ruin your last days at school. But I couldn't let them, not when I love you more than anything. So I acted. I dealt with them one by one. Chris was first. He was stronger than me, but his strength made him careless. It was easy, really, to turn his own aggression against him. People like him never see it coming. Bethany and Julie. Well, let's just say they won't be a problem anymore. I made sure of it. I did it all for you. Every choice, every action, every drop of blood. I did it because you deserve to be safe, to be adored. And now you can be with me. We can finally be together, just like it was always meant to be. You don't need to thank me. Just smile for me. Let me see those eyes again. And know that I'll always be watching over you, forever. I knew where he kept his steroids. It wasn't hard to figure out. Security at our school was laughable, and no one seemed to care. The teacher handed me a list of everyone's locker combinations when I claimed I forgot mine. Can you believe that? A whole list just like that. Chris's locker was pathetically easy to open. I left no trace, of course. Inside, I found the syringe he was planning to use next. Slowly, methodically, I squirted out a bit of the liquid, then drew back the plunger to leave a sizable air bubble behind. Chris wasn't smart enough to notice. He wasn't smart enough to stop what was coming. I bought a gym pass to watch him, always pretending, always unnoticed. He strutted in with that obnoxious laugh of his, flanked by his friends, so sure of himself. But it wouldn't last. I knew it wouldn't. He changed into his workout clothes, ready to push himself to the limit, oblivious to the danger coursing through his veins. At first, everything seemed fine, but soon, his movements slowed. Confusion crept over his face as his body betrayed him. Panic set in, and then cardiac arrest. He crumpled to the floor, lifeless. They tried CPR, but the school didn't have a defibrillator. Teenagers don't die of heart attacks, after all, except when they do. I slipped out quietly as the paramedics arrived. Too late. Always too late. Julie was next. She deserved what was coming. She hated you, envied you, because the boy she adored only ever talked about you. I waited until her parents were out, then slipped silently through her window. She never even stirred. I moved quickly, pinning her down and binding her wrists and ankles to the bedposts. Her eyes flew open, wild with terror. I didn't care. She had to understand what it felt like, the pain, the helplessness. I opened my bag and pulled out jar after jar, each one filled with writhing, squirming insects. Her screams were muffled as I pried her mouth open with a dental ring. Slowly, deliberately, I poured the contents of the first jar down her throat. She choked and gagged, tears streaming down her face, but I didn't stop. Jar after jar, I emptied them, their tiny legs and buzzing wings filling her body with chaos. When she passed out, I revived her with cold water and sharp slaps, whispering over and over that this was all for you. By the fifth jar, her body gave out, the insects tearing her apart from the inside. But she didn't die easily. Oh no, I made sure of that. Finally, there was Bethany, the worst of them all. She made your life unbearable, and for that, she deserved something special. I waited for her on her walk home, hiding in the shadows of an abandoned church. When she passed, I struck, dragging her into the darkness where no one would find her. I bound her tightly, gagging her so her screams wouldn't interrupt my work. Slowly, I drew my knife, letting its blade catch the faint light as her eyes widened in horror. The first stab was shallow, just enough to pierce her skin. I took my time, savoring each cut, each muffled cry. After every wound, I bandaged her tightly, keeping her alive, keeping her aware. Her body became a canvas of pain, every inch covered in crimson-streaked cloth. With each stab, I whispered your name, reminding her of what she had done to you, of why she deserved this. When her body was nothing but a mass of red and white, I delivered the final blow, clean, precise, straight to her heart. But I'm not done yet. I'm writing this from inside your house. You probably thought your parents left this letter in your room. They didn't. I did. They won't be coming to save you, they can't. I can hear you breathing. I know you've read this far. Stop screaming. It won't help. I'm right outside your door. Unlock it. Let me in. It's time for us to be together, forever, with all my love. Your secret admirer,